Hello everyone. Today we are going to start the basic concept of English language, and in this video we will discuss about what is language, how many types of communications are there, reasons behind learning English, that what should be the reason behind learning English, right? And further we will go on importance of English language. So basic concept of in English language. First we have language. We are defining language. First of all, language is a system by which we communicate with each other, and in this system sounds and meanings are interrelated. You can say sounds and meanings are interrelated. So English is a system. English is what? Or any language. Hindi is also based on some system. So any language, basically any language based on a system, or any language is a system, and system is made up of several rules, a set of rules we say. This is the one definition I provided, and there could be many definitions by many linguists. So there are various definitions of English language, but we are taking one definition which is very simple, right? So you have one course, you have one subject in your course, whether you are in class 9, you are in class 8, 10, 11, irrespective of the class, you just go on reading grammar aspect and literature aspect. These are the things that you oftenly study in your school times, but you do not know the depth of English language, how it works, what is the function, why should we learn English language, right? So in this class we will be discussing about only basic concept of English language, how it works, what are its functions, why it is important in this time, in this modern time in India, not only in India but in abroad as well. So why it is important so much, and why it is prevailing in our society by leaps and bounds. Now, as I explained, language is a system by which we communicate with each other. In this system, sounds and meanings are interrelated. So I underline this system, which is very important, and later on I will come back to this term system, right? Further we have communication. So when we communicate with anybody, so actually we exchange our thoughts, what you want to share and what another person you are talking with, he wants to share something. So in this way communication takes place. So this is the just sake of knowledge I am sharing with you all, is that how many types of communications are there. So first we have verbal communication, and another hand we have non-verbal communication. What is the meaning of verbal communication? Verbal communication includes speaking and listening. Speaking and listening. Whenever speaking and listening are involved, in that case we say it is a verbal communication. Further, verbal communication has been divided into subsections, which you can have formal communication, informal communication, one-way communication, and two-way communication. So these are the subsections of communication, verbal communication, and communication has been divided into two parts, verbal and non-verbal. So as I told you, speaking and listening, when we talk about speaking and listening, that will refer to a verbal communication. Non-verbal communication means when we picturize something, when we want to express our thoughts through a picture or through facial expression. For example, in school years, in school years when teachers become angry, they makes a kind of face which shows sometimes anger, or it may either shows happiness. In this way several emotions can be reflected from the facial expression. We can show anger and other emotions through facial expression. So when there is no speaking, when there is no writing, when there is no listening, in this way, so we say this will be the non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication. And I wrote down picture is one example, facial expression, and there are other examples also possible, you can make yourself. Coming to the subsections of verbal communication, we have number one, formal. So what is the meaning of formal? What do we mean by formal communication? I think you heard this term formal communication in your school times while writing letters. Letters have been divided into two parts, formal and informal. So formal means you already know, but for the sake of explanation, if I go on, the formal communication, refers some it's a term basically. Formal communication is a style of English where when you talk, when you communicate with anyone and whom you are talking, you do not know very much, and at that case you show respect, right? You show respect, you follow code of conduct, we can say. So in that case we say it is a formal style of speaking and it is a formal communication. Number 2, we have informal communication. So suppose you are talking to your friends, you are talking in your family, in that case you will follow informal communication, or we can also say informal style of communication in English language. In informal communication we do not show much respect because we have very close relationship with our friends. So this is the type of speaking in which we do not really much care about the respect. One-way communication. So what is the meaning of one-way communication? One-way communication refers where speaker shares his thought, where speaker shares his thought but you cannot respond. You heard me right? Suppose there are great authors, they write their books and you read their their books, but you can only read it, you can know the perspective and objective of the author that has written this book, but you cannot respond him. And for example, newspaper, we can say as example, newspaper, television, books, these are the examples of one-way communication where you cannot respond to them. You just come to know about the views and objective and thoughts what they have in their mind. Other hand, we have two-way communication. Two-way communication where speaker and listener are both involved, both they participate in the communication. So this is a very genuine thing. You already know about the two-way communication. So speaker and listener when involved and participate in the communication, in that case we say that this is two-way communication. So once again, let's recall before going to the reasons behind the learning English. Communication, what is communication? Communication, when we express our thoughts to anyone, in that case communication takes place. Communication has been divided into verbal and non-verbal classification. I mean, this is a basically classification. Verbal includes speaking and listening. Non-verbal does not include speaking and listening. It just expression through picture or through facial expression or through any other means. Further, verbal communication has been divided into 4 subsections: formal, informal, one way and two ways. I explained them all. Now we will discuss about reasons behind learning English. Why should we learn English language? What is the importance of English language? Is it worth speaking and communicating and learning English in today's time? So in this video we will try to find out this answer, that why should we learn exactly English. Some of few points I mentioned here for you, and you can add your points as well. So because one thing I would like to share with you all is that you have one subject, as I told you earlier, you have one subject. So for example, you are in class 11 and you have one subject English in your course, whether you are taking science stream, you are going to commerce stream and art stream, any stream, but English is there. So you have one subject in your course and you are opting this English language. Is this enough or appropriate reason to learn English? No. I think unless or until you know the meaning of the reasons behind learning English, you would not give your proper effort in learning English language. So reasons behind learning English, I'm making my few points and you can make your own. First of all, I wrote down I like English. So very first point you can say, because you have interest, I have interest in English language, that's the reason I want to learn English language. I want to explore English language. I want to enhance my skills in English language in various platforms. I want to speak to people from different parts of India who speak other languages than my own. So this can be also a possible reason that you want to speak to people from different parts of India who speak other languages than my own or your own. Basically, you know your mother tongue is Telugu and you do not know how to speak in Hindi. You want to communicate with person who knows Hindi and who knows also English a little bit, at least some English. So if you don't know English as well, then you cannot communicate with them, right? If you want to communicate with the other states people, you cannot communicate unless or until you have at least some English or skills of English, at least in the communication level, not in the depth of grammar, but at least some English. If you know, then you can communicate. So this is the possible reason you can make. I want to speak to the people from different parts of India who speak other languages than my own. Third point I made here, people who know English may get better jobs. This is also a good reason, I would say, because in today's time most of the companies conducting their interviews in English language, and if you ever think of going for interview or preparing for interview, I am sure that it would be in English. So English has a very important role in today's time, especially in companies, in interviews, in this way, in modern and science technology, in this way. Important when we go to importance of English language, we will discuss there that what are the possible importance of English and why it is prevailing in our society in so rapidly. So third point we have covered, right? People who know English may get better jobs. What is fourth point? Fourth point, you can say every person I can think of knows English, or every person think of every important person, sorry, you can say every important person I can think of knows English. Important means famous. For example, you can say celebrities are famous, so celebrity from Bollywood, Tollywood, or any Bollywood, any film industry, they are popular and they know some English. Actually they know not some English, they know quite well English. So another case you can tell about the sports person who are also very eminent and famous in the country, so they know English. Entrepreneur. So in this way various examples you can take, and that's the reason I'm making these points. Every eminent or important or popular person I can think of, they know some English. And if you happen to come with them for a dialogue or for an interview or for a communication, it is not possible always that they know your tongue. So you have to match with the communication only in English, because what I made this point is that they know some English. Every important person, they know some English, so you can talk to them in English language. This is why English is becoming very important today's time. This is the 4 points we have done. Now we can make 5 points, so fifth points. So we can make fifth points. And what should be fifth points? Can you think? You can make your own points for the reasons behind learning English in today's time. All right. So fifth points. What can be fifth points? So we can say, for example, I want to learn it to pursue my further education. You can say I want to speak to people, and don't think this was the same that we earlier made. It is different. I want to speak to people all over the world, all over the world. And we can say most of them, that we want to communicate or we want to talk with a person who is living out of our country or any parts of the world. So we can say most of them, if not all, then most of them know some English, know some, most of them know some English, right? So 2 points I made now. I want to learn it basically. I want to learn English language to pursue my further education, and it is important for you to go when you go abroad for reading or to pursue your higher education out of this country, out of your country. In that case, it is important to learn English language. Next we have, I want to speak to people all over the world, and most of them know some English. It is also right. You want to speak to the people of Turkey, you want to speak to the people of China. So let's say most of them, they know some English, and it will help you to communicate with them. If you have wish to talk, just like I made this point, if you have desire to talk to the people of different parts of world, so it will help you. So in this way I made 6 points. I think this is enough reasons to analyze that why should we learn English, and why it is important in today's time. We'll also take up some importance of English language, and then we will move on to the basic concept of English language. For example, what is variety of English, what are different varieties, basically what are different varieties of English. For example, we have heard the term for accent. What is accent, for example? And we have heard about dialects. So what is a dialect? And in this way there could be several terms. So little bit we'll go on basic terms, dialect, accent, okay, and then if it is possible in this video we'll go on further on the skills of English language and the basic classification of skills and how it helps in our course, especially in class 11, right? So these are the 6 points. I think these points are enough to understand, as I said. So now I am removing these points. So now we will discuss about importance of English language, right? Importance of English language. What are importance? What is importance basically? So English in India today is becoming people's aspiration to participate in national and international stages and levels. And first of all, if I would go to make points in importance of English language, I would like to quote one phrase. It is, English is a window on the world. English is a window on the world, said by Jawaharlal Nehru. So Jawaharlal Nehru said English is a window on the world, and you can go with the meaning that what exactly it means, window on the world. You can think about this phrase. It's a very deep meaning. Now we will talk about importance of English language. So first of all, we say that English is an international language. English is an international language. First of all, we are making first of all points, and then we will explain it, we will discuss it, right? So first point we are making, English is an international language. Number 2, the UK and the USA is dominant in this language. Okay, we can say language of science and technology. Language of books, newspaper, books, newspaper, books, newspaper, academic conferences, dialogue on national and international level between countries, main countries, apart from India. We can say New Zealand, Ireland, Canada, Australia, etc. So let's explain one by one what are the importance. English, first of all, is an international language. What is meant by saying international language? We can also say international language is a global language or world language. So English is why called an international language, because it has dominance in at least 76 countries. In at least 76 countries, English has either a special or official status. What is the meaning of special status? Special status refers that in these countries, what I told you, that about 76 countries they are using English language as a special or official language. So the status, special status means they are using English language for their most of educational institution, and official means it is used in most of their works. So that is why we are saying it has a special or official status. Official or special status in at least 76 countries. It is difficult to name them or list them, but we can think of our neighbor countries. They use English language in most of their works. So let us first of all discuss about one by one the points which comes under the importance of English language. English language is an international language, which we said like a global language or world language. Why? Because you know the history of UK has ruled in India for so many years, and they developed English language. They made people learn English language for their own convenience to make business and trade. And after independence, we adopted this British English system for at least 15 years, and then we again thought that we have need for continuation of English language. So we we went ahead with English language so far, and nowadays what is the position of English language in India and the USA. Even the British has also ruled in United States of America, and United States America has people of different languages from the very early times. But after the British left, they continued with the English, and this way what we did, like we also continued with this British English. Actually, most or many of the former colonies of British, they chose to keep it continuing this language in their colony after the British left. This happened, and that's the reason we are naming at least 76 countries which has a special or official status in their countries. Third, we have language, English language. Basically, this is English language. English language has become the language of science and technology, right? Language of books. It has become language of books, newspaper, and academic conference and dialogue on national, international level, and conference and dialogue on national, international level between countries. Main countries apart from India, who speaks English apart from India, of what countries people speak English apart from India. So mainly we have written this: New Zealand, Ireland, Canada, Australia. So people of these countries speak English apart from India. We also speak English, and we are showing our great interest in English language in today's modern India. Okay, what are the other importance? I will make 2 or 3 points, and then we will move on to our next topic, will be the basic concept of English language. This is the just importance and reasons that you should make grip on English language, and you must have proper reason for taking this language in your journey, and that these points will help you in deciding that why you should show a tremendous interest in English language if you have in your course. If you don't want to do that, it's upon you, it's up to you. So some of the other points are possibly, we can say, 80% of world scientists, 80% of world scientists read in English. It's a very, very important point. 80% of world scientists read in English. Next, we can say about 80% or more than 80%, about 80% or more than 80% of world electronically data is stored in English language of world. More than 80% data electronically, that we save in electronic form. So the data is stored in English language, and 85% of organization, they use their English language as a preferred language. Even United Nations, about the United States has a preferred language, we say. So these are some importance of English language, and I told you earlier the reasons behind why should we learn English language, and why should we show our respect and interest for English language, why should we come in English language, why should we enhance it. Now when we go ahead, we will discuss about some skills and how this system, if you remember, I told you to mark system in which English language works. So when we go ahead, now we will discuss about the system, how it works. For example, sound system, right? Then we have word system, we have syntax, we have morphology, phonology. So in this way we will discuss about the further things. I hope you have noted down. If you wish, you can do that. I'm going to arrange, you can even take a screenshot of this video. So far we have discussed about importance and reasons. Now we will discuss about standard English. Or we can also say a model English. A model English or a standard English. As you know that there are varieties of English. For example, we have American English, we have British English, Australian English, and nowadays Indian English is also growing very rapidly, and soon we will find that Indian English has also become a variety of English, and people of different countries may aspire to speak Indian English. We have our own style of pronunciating different words. So this is a matter of later time, but now we are discussing about a model English or a standard English. So we have two models to follow. Number one, we had actually we adopted already, but there are two models which are considered standard English. Okay, the UK, as I told you, and the USA. So we adopted, India adopted UK system because the British has ruled in our country. So after the British left, we chose British system to let it continue. So in grammar aspect, in all the government officers and all the government officials and in all the government offices, British English is used. Basically British English is used in all the competitive levels of English test. You can say British English based questions are given. We do not follow the US system or the American English. We can also say American. We do not follow American English. But one thing which is important to be discussed, American English is also prevailing in our society basically. What is the difference between American English and the British English? There is no you can say there is not much difference between American English and British English actually. For example, there is a little bit difference of grammar and some vocabulary. We use different vocabulary according to the British system, and they use different. For example, one example if I want to give you, they say in America, people say elevator, we say lift. We say pavement, they say sidewalk. So in this way there are some changes in vocabulary system, and also some syntax changes are there. Syntax means structure changes. So this is the matter of later discussion, but first of all we are going to talk about the standard English. Standard English, it is the India has adopted UK system and American English is there. Another model, Philippine, we can say Philippine adopted American English. So one example you can keep in your mind, that Philippine has adopted American English, we adopted British English. In this way countries are following on their own reasons, right? Now which one, I mean UK or the British English is standard English or American English is standard English? So standard English has their own definition, but some of the important points that you need to keep in your mind, we can say two things. One thing, RP, and second thing we can say IPA. What are these? Standard English means in the pronunciation, whatever model you are following, in the pronunciation there not should be code mixing, there not should be a mix of pronunciation of other languages. If you are speaking English, so the style or pronunciation of other languages should not mix in the English. You have Telugu tongue and you are speaking English, so if you are giving Telugu accent in English language while speaking, so it will not be considered a standard English language. So these are the some points, but it is acceptable. And one thing is more, that in spoken English it is possible that we can use American English and British English as well at the same time. We are mixing that because nowadays American English and British English, they are they are coming with each other on a common platform, we can say. So on spoken English we can say we can use American words, American style, American structures along with the British English. There is no there is no problem. It is acceptable as far as it's a matter of spoken English. But when we write it, we have to follow British system. British system, what is there? Whatever the grammar you have read so far comes under the British system. American system, because we are not we are not taught, so we are not much aware of what are exactly structures of American English. So I was telling you about two things. Number one is RP, number one is IPA, which is very, very important. RP means pronunciation. RP means received pronunciation. Some say, some students say or pronounce it pronunciation. It's wrong. Pronunciation. It is pronunciation. Okay. So what is RP and received pronunciation? If in India we are following British system, so we should speak as the people or students speak in England schools, or in the schools of England or UK. So this is what we say, received pronunciation. What kind of pronunciation? We should pronounce a word in the same way as the children or student or people of UK or England say, in the same way, and that then considered will be as a standard or received pronunciation, we can say. Second, we have, this is international phonetic. International phonetic So second we have IPA, means International Phonetic Association or alphabet. This is also important because we only know or we are aware of the 26 letters of alphabet from A to Z. Further we have vowels and consonants. These are things that we are only aware, but actually that we know in class 11 or in class 12 on further in degree courses, you come to know that actual sound, how should it be produced, how should it be pronounced, comes under IPA, International Phonetic Association, who made this alphabet. These alphabets actually 44 in number, and in English language you can say there are 44 sounds, not 26 letters. It may has 26 letters, but it has 44 sounds. In English language it's very important how many sounds we have, 44 sounds. So in 11th intermediate we have this phonetic course, and we will discuss about this, how these 44 sounds divided and what are they, how they are transcribed. This is the matter of later discussion, as I said. So RP means received pronunciation. What is received pronunciation? Received pronunciation means we should speak in the same way as the people or the students speak in the school of the UK and in the England. IPA, International Phonetic Association or alphabet. So I hope you gain some knowledge through this video. Okay, in the next video we will discuss about accent, dialect and some of the other basic concept of English language. Then after we will go on our main English course which you have in intermediate 11th class of Telangana state. Thank you very much.